The for loop in Python allows you to do a lot of cool things. You've already seen that you can use the range function and work with numbers. One other thing we could do is work with strings. So let's go ahead and create a new program, and I'm going to save that program and call it forString.py. And in this I want to do the following. I want to go ahead and prompt the user to enter in some letters, and then for each letter I want the user to type in a word starting with that letter, and then I want to confirm if they did it correctly. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go get a list of letters from the user. And so we'll just do the input function and we'll say type the alphabet characters to practice. So they'll just type in a list of characters, A, B, C, D, whatever. And then we'll make a for loop and we'll create a variable. I'm going to call it schar. You can call it anything you want. And we're going to say for all the variables, or for each value in the variable slist. Now slist is a string. For instance, let's say that they typed that in. So slist would equal to that, and the for loop is smart enough to know that it's 5 long, and it would pull each character out one at a time and put it into this variable. So the first time it would put A into there, the second time B, the third C, D, and K. And you'd work with it one at a time until you've exceeded the number of characters in that list. So not only can you use the range function, but you can use a list value, or some value that has multiple positions, which we'll learn more a little bit later when we talk about a list and dictionary and tuple and other structures. So what I can do here now inside that loop, since I know the first time through it's going to pull the first letter out from that variable that I typed in and put it into that variable, I can now say something like, what character do we want them to enter? So enter a word starting with the letter schar, because that's the first letter coming from this list value, or that variable that they typed in. And then now that we've got the first letter, what I can do is I can go and check the value of that variable. If the letter from that variable is equal to whatever they typed in, and then notice what you can do here. Since S input is also going to be a string, each position of that string has a position associated with it, almost like a little mailbox. So if I typed in the word apple into S input, position 0 is A, position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4. And that's because strings are 0 based, meaning that each position of a string has a number associated with it. This is in position 0. That's position 1, position 2. So if I said go to the variable S input and grab the value that's in position 0, that would return an A. If I said grab the value in position 1, that would return a P. Position 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that would return an E. So even though the string is 5 characters long, that would go 0 to 4. And I can use the square brackets to extract the value out of that string. And so I can continue that if statement by doing something like this. If the letter in position 0 of the word they just typed in is equal to the letter from our list, print good job. Otherwise say you need to practice. Now let's run this because I think it'll make more sense once you see it. We'll go ahead and compile it. Let's practice A, B, C, D, E, and F. Enter a word starting with the letter A. Now the reason it said the letter A is because the first time through, schar is equal to that big string. But the for loop says go and grab the first character, which is A. And that's why schar is equal to A. So now let's type in apple. Enter. It prints good job because S input is equal to apple. We said, is the value of schar, which is A, equal to the first character in the string that we typed in right here, which is A. We said yes. Now case might be an issue, so we could make this a little bit better. Let's try the letter B and let's do elf. And it says you need to practice with the letter B, and I need to practice spelling because I left an E off of the word the. And then you can continue going through this. If we're all done running, just push a Control-Z and enter, and that will end your program. CLS clears that screen. So one thing we might want to do is come right here and make sure that the case matters when we check. So this is really cool because the for loop will work with a list of values, and a string is simply a list of characters. And so the for loop will pull each character one at a time into this variable, and we can do anything we want with that variable now.